Hey everyone, this is a presentation about Brian and I flying into the mountains. So, what we did is we learned about this course at AirVenture. I actually went to um, a session that Colorado Pilots Association put on about flying into the mountains. I thought it was super cool. I chatted with Brian about it kind of in passing, but as we all know, Brian, the man of action, jumped in and made it happen. So he said, "Hey, let's actually go do that." So we actually went and did it. Um, so why did we go do it? Obviously to impress our friends, scare our spouses, cheat death. No, um, actually just to learn something new, challenge ourselves, and obviously have fun, which we certainly did. Um, so we went out to Centennial Airport. The course was held at Centennial. Um, obviously we flew into the Rocky Mountains, or those at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, and then our our flying sessions were in the Rocky Mountains. Um, so pretty easy to get to from Minneapolis. Our plan, we left on a Friday, so we were just going to commute to Centennial on Friday. Saturday was like an all-day ground school, and then Sunday and Monday we're planning on flying in the mountains, and then fly home Monday night, which is how the plan went. So there's me and Brian. Brian's daughter hitched a ride with us out to Denver, which is kind of fun. Along the way, we stopped at this little airport in Nebraska and grabbed the crew car and went to this place called Carhenge, which is a Stonehenge recreation. So it's kind of fun seeing some of the tourist sites along the way out to Denver. Ground school. So ground school, it was really good. It was very thorough. A lot about terrain, how you catch updrafts, how you watch for sync, a lot about weather, a lot about survival. So it really crystallized for me that flying into the mountains is a very serious thing. Like you should definitely not do it unless you've taken this kind of class. There's about 100 different things that can kill you out there. So, and even a lot of opposite things like just the way you go up a canyon is kind of counterintuitive. So, really amazing course. They did a really good job. It was very thorough, and so we learned a ton. And then we got to go fly. So we got to fly all around and in the mountains. We landed at many mountain airports. Kind of like the takeoff and landing operations were a big part of the training. Um, but as you can see, it was absolutely beautiful. We were actually there at kind of peak aspen colors, so there was this mix of uh, green from the pine trees and the evergreens, and then all this beautiful gold everywhere. Tons of terrain pull-up warnings, like the autopilot is going off crazy all the time. Um, we did our record was 13.8, which was pretty fun. Obviously, it was, and it was actually kind of warm in there. So, as you know, the climb performance on the 182 at those altitudes is not really good. So we had to learn a lot about like how to catch an updraft, because we needed to get to those kinds of altitudes to cross some of these peaks. And so we would hug the side of the mountain, get up in the updraft, and have it push us up. It was kind of like getting on an elevator. It was kind of crazy. Like we could get maybe like 200 feet per minute just naturally out of the engine at that altitude. We'd hit the updraft and it would go like right to 1,000 feet a minute. It was crazy. There's a photo of Keystone. So obviously we flew over near and around a bunch of the ski resorts out there, which was super fun. Some of the airports we went to, this is Glendale Springs, most of them were really easy to get in and out of, but some of them were a lot tighter and a lot shorter, like this one. And obviously there's mountains and things all over, and we're flying much closer to terrain than we ever do here in Minnesota. This is our instructor, Jer. Kind of an old timer. He spends a lot of time in Civil Air Patrol. He said he was credited with finding 14 lost people in the wilderness. So that's pretty cool. Really, really nice guy, fun instructor, pretty easygoing. He tended to give me a hard time a lot. Not Brian. I don't know what was up with that, but it was fun flying with him, and he spent all day with us. Just a little bit more of the sights. It was really varied in there. There was places where it was like, hey, this would be no problem to land in an emergency, and there were places where like we are crash landing if we have an engine out. So, um, a lot of the conversation in the cockpit with Jer was like, what's your out? Where are you landing? Um, just always really hyper aware of the terrain around you and where you would go in case of emergency. And in class, we talked a lot about survival. Obviously, like we left Boulder and it was like 75 degrees outside, and then we get back in the mountains and there's snow. So, and the weather changes really quick out there. So, again, really a lot different than just flying around here in the flatlands. So, what we learned? We learned there's hundreds of ways to die in the mountains. Always have an out. Bring survival gear. And it's not about getting to 2,000 feet above the ground and camping or just cruising around. We were up and down and up and down. I mean, it was altitude changes nonstop. We really didn't hold an altitude ever. Cross those summit lines at 45 degrees, mostly in case you need to bail. Leaning, we lean our airplanes for taxi, but what we would do in the mountains is we'd go to the hold short line, full power up, lean it to peak performance, and then go. And we'd actually just keep power in at the hold short line and do like a powered, full power turn onto the runway. So we can maximize our takeoff roll. Checklists, obviously super important. They've got weather stations on these peaks, which is really interesting because the weather is so different from the peak to the valley that if you get valley weather, it's so much different than the peak weather. So you want to know what the peak is as you're kind of trying to cross those. And then get out before noon was a big mantra in class, mostly because the weather changes so quickly, and especially in the afternoon, that it's just not safe or smart to be out there in afternoon. We did fly until like 2 or 3 o'clock one day, and the weather was really coming in, and we would have been really uncomfortable if Jared hadn't been with us. We got a fun little certificate for completing the course, but we also got the certificate of navigation for landing at Leadville at 9,938 feet, so the highest airport in North America, which was pretty fun. And then on the way back, we swung by Oshkosh just to bookend the trip, but it was Oshkosh, Nebraska. All in all, such a super fun trip. If anyone is interested in more details about this trip, Brian and I are happy to chat about it.